Believers, it's that time again. It's time for family love. We're talking all about family and siblings and all that stuff. That's right. We're talking episode 17, The Moth and the Butterfly, so you're not going to want to miss it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, we're bringing it back. Hell yeah, man. Back. See, do you get it? I was thinking lyrics. No. Guys, this is the Lucha Underground After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We're talking season 4, episode 17, The Moth and the Butterfly. My name is Ty Matthews. You can find me online at Ty Matthews PMA. Joining me, not Jimmo in the booth, it's Mark B. Donica.
The internet's Mark B. Donica.
The internet's Mark B. Donica.
Ty, you can't do that to me. We have limited time, man.
Oh boy! See, we're big fans of CKY. That's why we're coming in on an old club banger from our adolescence with 96 Quiet Beings.
I cannot think of that now. Bernadette near.
It's real dumb. It's real dumb. I don't want people to feel left out. There's a meme.
I'll post it. Whatever.
Please
Post it.
I'll post it
in response.
Go find Mark B. Donica's Twitter. He's gonna post it right now.
I'll respond to your live tweet.
It's real dumb, but you have to see it to understand it. If you're not a CKY fan, it won't be funny. Let's talk episode 17 because there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there is.
At the beginning of this episode, I had to catch you up. I had to kind of give you the clip
a little bit
of this sort of time travel saga.
Mm-hmm. Not time travel daga.
Oh, there you go. I like it. A few weeks ago, we saw Katrina and Melissa Santos have a big, huge fight on top of a roof. Long story short, Katrina fell to her quote-unquote death, question mark, ... exclamation point.
Physical death?
Yeah, could be. There you go. Yeah, that's a
at
good
least
way
for
to put
now.
it. Aerostar, being the time traveler that he is, arrives on the scene, sucks her essence into his into his little into his arc reactor.
Yes. Into his flux capacitor.
Exactly. There you go. Travels the 88 miles per hour, goes back after the Grave Consequences match, gives Phoenix his life force back, but as we find out in this scene at the top of this episode, he shouldn't have messed with the timeline because Katrina's dark energy has sort of infected him and has made him evil.
Yeah.
And Melissa asks him why. Why should you have not done that?
Why you do this?
And he says, because I've seen the end. And she says, the end of what? And he says, of everything. We've said it before, guys. Aerostar is Doctor Strange in this universe. Now, it's not even the arc reactor anymore. It's the Eye of Agamotto now.
Yeah.
Boy.
What did it cost you? Todos.
God, very good. That's very, very good. And so he according to him, Phoenix cannot be saved. Mm. So who knows? Who knows if we'll ever see the true prime of Phoenix?
Phoenix Prime.
Yeah. There you go.
If it wasn't for the very specific tattoos, it could have been possible to clone him unless they put him in a long sleeve shirt.
That is true.
Yeah. They Sin Cara, the whole situation.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sin Cara Negro had that tattoo, and then all of a sudden, Sin Cara Azul has a new tattoo. How weird.
Now, just like last week, we're kicking things off with trios action, and even more than that, we're once again kicking things off with Ivelisse, Exolicious, and Joey Ryan, but this time around they're taking on the brand new Rabbit tribe of Paul London, the White Rabbit, and El Bunny.
Yes.
And Paul London, I love his kind of crow look. In wrestling, obviously Sting is the one that's always kind of been intrinsically linked with the crow, but I felt like this looked so much more like Brandon Lee.
Well, we had a little bit. Jericho had a similar look. He did black lipstick, and he had the crosses over his eyes.
When he in New Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So it's sort of a thing that's coming back, but I agree with you that Sting kind of owns it. But I didn't necessarily link it to the Crow when it came to him.
That was the first thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's wearing kind of the black jumpsuit now, but that was the first thing that kind of struck me.
Evil Elvis is more what I was thinking.
I like it.
You're not regular Elvis. Evil Elvis.
Evil Elvis hitting stores, coming to your local video store this Christmas.
Coming soon. I was gonna say Blumhouse, but I guess we'll go Blumhouse.
Blumhouse, exactly.
Evil Elvis.
That's going to be my new screenplay. The lariat. First of all, that was kind of the first thing that really jumped out at me. The lariat that Paul London hits, I believe, Ivelisse with. Or it might have been Exolicious. It was Exolicious.
It was Exolicious.
I'm wrong. That's right.
Yeah.
Just it takes his head off. We're not used to seeing such kind of strong strikes from Paul London. You know, he's obviously more of a high flyer, but now that he's getting to show off a more sinister side.
In my catching up, I didn't know what was the purpose of sacrificing Saltador and Mala Suerte.
Oh boy, they talked about it in a vignette a couple weeks ago where Paul London was conveying the story to the White Rabbit, but the White Rabbit wasn't even listening to him. He was like yawning while he was talking.
Okay, so is it possible that their essences have now gone in sort of a power pool of the White Rabbit tribe, similarly to the sacrifice that Masquerita Sagrada forcefully took?
Right.
You know, is all of this blood going towards
It
sort
could
of like
be. I think the only thing that I remember is that Paul London he sacrificed them for the White Rabbit, but it didn't seem like the White Rabbit is like had any sort of agency or told him to or asked him to.
No, it was a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's just for that sort of a clarification, because it could be sort of a requisition from this demigod of power, or just a refocused London, because we're not seeing as much faff. Like there's some, but it's more like I told you he was real. Now I'm going to let him do his thing.
Right.
And Will Smith's them.
Dude,
Like,
Will Smith. That's the second time that has come up in my life this week.
Nice.
I never knew about that until a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know that was a thing he did. God bless Will Smith, bungee jumping into the Grand Canyon on his 50th birthday. We also, that amazing double German suplex, which, like, granted is a little bit different than when, like, guys normally do it, but still, it was pretty impressive.
the spacing was seemingly a lot more appropriate.
Exactly. So, Ivelisse, Paul London, and El Bunny are all in the ring together. Ivelisse bypasses El Bunny so that he's standing on the middle rope, bypasses Paul London into him so that they're sort of holding each other, and then she hits Paul London with the German suplex, who then, in turn, German suplexes El Bunny.
Yeah. It was a cool move.
It was, yeah.
It's hard to talk about this match and not go straight to the physical debut of the White Rabbit.
Yes, of the White Rabbit, yeah.
He was terrifying.
Right.
And it's a complete sort of shift of it's more of a tone of the original ideas behind Alice in Wonderland than necessarily like the I'm late sort of a gimmick that we get from the Disney version. But I would say the temple should be as afraid of the White Rabbit as they are of Matanza.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And we talked a little bit in the last episode about where the White Rabbit fits on this sort of realm of gods, you know?
Men versus gods.
Exactly, yeah. Because I don't know if we've ever talked about it before, but we know that there are 7 Aztec tribes. Does each tribe have their own god?
Or patron god, or some sort of...
Exactly, yeah.
Or some protective spirit, or some sort of everything. I figure so. Because if the tribes represented the original fighters of the Aztecs, then there had to have been something to represent that other than like, hey, a bunny. Like
right.
There had to have been something, and I think that this White Rabbit could be either a representation, or we know that stuff people get used as vessels. This could be the current vessel of the spirit of the original White Rabbit. So I think that this might be our first glimpse, because Matanza is seemingly more of a demon than a god.
Well, I think Matanza is kind of closer to what we would call a demigod. I think he was human once and then got the essence of a god kind of channeled through him.
But not representing one of the main 7.
Right.
Seemingly. So some god of death or whatever, nothing that has some sort of a representation.
Sure.
But but yes, Matanza and the White Rabbit are on very similar grounds. I think.
Hopefully that is sort of respected, and maybe I would love to see a big blow off between the two of them at Ultima Lucha. I mean, I don't know if there's
an Ultima Lucha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I think there might not be enough time between now and Ultima Lucha Cuatro to properly extrapolate that story, but. I'm very interested to see kind of how they interact with each other. So in his kind of first bit of in-ring action, Joey hits him with 2 super kicks and they do nothing.
And make him mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He blocks the lollipop, spins him around, gives him a Saito suplex, puts the white glove on, and then locks in the mandible claw.
I didn't know what to expect.
No.
It could have been a punch, it could have been a claw, it could have been any sort of a thing.
Sure.
But the emphasis on the white glove, and by the time Joey is knocked out or submits or the ref just calls it, the removal of the hand and we see blood on the hand. And that was just, no thank you. No.
Exactly. And that stark contrast between, the red of the blood and that pure white of the glove, It's interesting that move, like, have we literally seen anyone other than Mick Foley ever do that before?
I think
have we?
At some point, but not, I mean... Not like these, but it
because I cannot remember anyone ever having done it.
Let me see.
Other than Mick Foley or someone kind of either doing it to Mick Foley or sort of a reference to Mick Foley, But that being said, I did enjoy Matt Stryker's call of Sam Shepard, the kind of original person that used it, It has so much more of almost like a clinical feel to it.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel, it doesn't look like it, of the wrestling holds where you go, oh, okay, I can understand how that works, and it's just more of a thing.
Sure.
It's ridiculously invasive, and it plays with that personal space. Nobody really likes the dentist, sort of a thing. So it no good feelings from anybody.
Exactly, and it's one of those I've tried it out on myself before. It's if you take those middle 2 fingers right underneath your tongue and then press up with your thumb like that. Holy crap, does not feel good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We will get into more of this episode, this kind of jam-packed episode in a little bit. But AfterBuzzers, let me holler at you. Player. See, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite television shows. Now, that's everything from dramas to reality TV to sci-fi and so much more. There's absolutely no network that works harder than we do to serve television fans. But we need your help. See, we're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. And by doing that, by subscribing to our channel, YouTube is going to suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you're going to help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And hey, if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because those are optional. One click. Boom. Done. Have it your way. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels while you're at it. And let us know you did so in the comments. We'll thank you on the air. But for now, thank you so much for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Viva la lucha.
Viva la lucha.
All right, let's power through some of this other stuff.
We get sort of our first rundown of the card for Ultima Lucha Cuatro, which is that's coming up in 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
And I
can't believe we're already there.
It's only 2 parts. Ultima Lucha Trace was like 4 parts, wasn't it? That was a 4-week event, right?
Yeah, it was 4.
Oh man! So in 4 weeks, we get the first part of Ultima Lucha 4, then the second. So far, we have a death match between Mil Muertes and the Mac. We've got a 2 out of 3 falls match between Dragon the Second Jr. and Phoenix. And we have the Lucha Underground Championship match between Pentagon Dark and Marty the Moth Martinez, who we will talk about more in just a few minutes.
I'm getting a lot of reactions from the CKY meme.
Are you really?
Yeah. From artist, friend, and actually designer of this sweet New Day shirt with the NXT team on it, Natasha, as well as friend of the show, Bill Hancock.
Oh, fantastic.
But everybody's just going, oh my God.
Dude, it made my heart explode. It almost doesn't work in text form.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's get into Killshot versus Son of Havoc.
Just as hard-hitting as I was expecting.
Yes.
But I didn't expect it to go the way that it did ultimately. I know that the masks have been very important when it came to these two. Is this the first mask versus I mean, not to just sort of downplay the match, but just because we're running solo on time.
Yeah.
But it was announced afterwards that we're getting a mask versus mask match between these two. Is this the first mask v mask?
It might be.
I think it is.
It might possibly be. I don't know if we've... And I think that's largely owing to the fact that, like, these guys all wrestle for places outside of Lucha Underground, and they haven't really... These are sort of a few of the original guys that wrestled elsewhere without a mask, and then kind of created these brand new personae.
And I think now that it's a situation where people have a little bit more freedom when it comes to their contracts with Lucha Underground, I think it's not going to be as big of a deal for either of these guys. Well, it's still important to the culture of Lucha Libre, and mask versus mask matches, they still happen, and they're such an integral part of the Lucha culture.
Right.
But with this and it being kind of just a TV show, the stakes aren't as high, especially when both of these guys have lost their masks.
Well, and I think what's also important is that these guys aren't necessarily steeped in traditional quote-unquote Lucha culture.
True.
I mean, these are both American wrestlers that, you know, and I think the story and the character plays a lot in it as well. These guys aren't wearing masks for tradition or for cultural reasons. In the fiction of Lucha Underground, they're wearing it for literal protection. They're pragmatic about their mask wearing. You know, Killshot, he wants to get away from his history in the military, and Son of Havoc wants to get away from his history as a biker. So they're wearing these for practical reasons, and so I think that gives this a whole new dynamic. But yeah, ultimately, there's this amazing roll-up exchange. Son of Havoc gets the win. Killshot attacks him, takes his mask, and Antonio Cueto makes Máscara contra Máscara for Lucha Underground Cuatro.
One of my favorite things about this feud, and just for the past couple of weeks with these guys, is the fact that it's the wins against Killshot have all been, or have mostly been roll-ups or accidents or faults that he just couldn't quite get it.
Right.
So the fact that we can get, I would say, a definitive, I'm going to knock this person out for 3 seconds victory, or by the time the mask versus mask match, because the stakes are a lot higher now, is a lot more exciting than just, oh, these guys are fighting again.
Right, exactly.
So I look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, we've got the brand new Lucha Underground champion, Marty the Moth, accompanied by who is now known as Reclusa. We get a nice little kind of retconning of writing Sexy Star out of the Lucha Underground mythos.
Very, very prequely of, hey, you know all this stuff that you could have seen?
Remember the spider she saw at the end of, was it Ultima Lucha Trace?
I don't remember.
I think it was. Yeah, she opened a little gift. There's a spider in it. We never heard anything about that or her again until now, until Reclusa. We find out that it was her that took Sexy Star out. But more importantly than that, Marty the Moth says that his very first title defense will be against his beloved sister, Mariposa. And my God, did they beat the shit out of each other.
Like, I expected them to do it just based on their relationship in the past. But this was more of, I similarly to what I said about the Rabbit Tribe, I am going to leave you with nothing and take everything you have from myself.
Exactly. I mean, just such simple stuff as when Marty shoves her head into that open chair near the announce table and then gets her in quesadora position and just swings her against the front of the table.
There's a lot of in this match that we ended up doing.
Exactly. We start off almost right away. Mariposa headbutts him. He low blows her. And, like, we don't get enough reference to the fact that that would still hurt. Yeah. Like, no matter who you are.
Because, the only ones that really stick out are anytime, like, Jeff Jarrett would go for one against China and they would kind of, like, laugh it off, like, she doesn't have balls.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
There's still something.
Yeah. That's still, like, physical contact with excessive force.
A sensitive area.
There you go.
We get just brutal tearing of the mask. I wasn't sure if he was going to tear it all the way.
I thought it was going to, but then I went, they can't do that. Like, just because of who Mariposa is.
And also, now that we've seen Cheerleader Melissa
exactly, even more so. Like, she canon exists in two places at once.
Exactly.
We can't rip that mask off.
We get this fantastic power bomb against the barricade, followed by a sit-out Liger bomb on the outside. A complete burial of Marty the Moth under just a sea of chairs. Drop toe hold into the chair from Mariposa. Samoan drop into an open chair. Looks like she's about to hit the butterfly effect. Reclusa hits her with a boot, allows Marty the Moth to hit a package pile driver, sending a message to Pentagon Dark. He retains the title, but more importantly, he challenges Pentagon Dark to a Cero Miedo match.
Yeah. And the fact that Marty requested that the match between him and his sister be a no disqualification match.
Yes.
We know that he's twisted.
Right.
That's messed up.
Exactly.
But seemingly Mariposa knew exactly what she was getting into.
Right.
So it wasn't as much of a surprise that it got this crazy.
Right.
But and also broke Mariposa's arm.
Yeah, to put an exclamation point on it, just breaks her arm in Pentagon style.
Do we see Mariposa again? At least not for a while.
I think so. Not for a while. But I wouldn't be surprised if she gets killed in some way by the end of the season.
Or in 2 seasons, they're going to be like, hey, remember when I broke her arm? She died from that.
It got gangrenous, and now she's dead.
And now she's at the No Kill Dairy Queens.
So she's with Chief PD.
Yep.
So we've got all sorts of matches already set up for Ultima Lucha Cuatro. It's coming up in 4 weeks. We'll be recapping the shows, of course, from now until then. It's been an amazing season so far. Mark V. Donica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ty.
We miss you,
any
we miss
time
you
with you.
dearly whenever you're not here. Mark, but where can they find you?
You can find me on the Twitter at Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Instagram. If you like video games, I stream at Inventory Full PT. I'm also on the NXT After Show right here on this very channel with Robert Baines and Bill Handstock. So make sure to watch us every week. And I'm just happy to be. Oh, and Xbox 12360. We had Scott Norton. Got it right this time.
There we go.
On YouTube.com/Xbox. Subscribe. We have some fun stuff coming up. We're going to be populating that with more than just interviews and our talk shows. So make sure to check that out there.
Absolutely. As always, you can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. That's Twitter. That's Instagram. That's the PlayStation Network. I've been playing a lot of Spider-Man, but once Halloween Terror starts, I'm going to be right back to Overwatch. Especially with this brand new Doomfist skin. It's amazing.
Ready to roll.
Watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Saturdays. Check me out on the Purge After Show on Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock p.m. We had a very special guest this week. But we'll be right back here, same time, same channel, talking about Season 4, Episode 18. But until then, Viva la Lucha!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.